Hey everybody, and welcome back to the second quarterfinal match of BT Game Nights, episode 190. I am honored to have been asked to introduce your contestants for tonight. I am Mr. Bevers. Welcome to the show. Our first contestant in this corner with 5 swamps, Sangromancer, Necropotence, and their legendary spirit commander, Horobi Deck's Wail. It's Josh. And in this corner with Flooded Strand, Wooded Foothills, Misty Rainforest, Shivan Reef, Steam Vents, Goblin Bombardment, Herald of Dramoka, and their commander, legendary human warrior, Najeela the Blade Blossom. Give it up for Marc. And now that you've been thoroughly introduced, let's get the game going.
For their first turns, Marc plays Flooded Strand, while Josh plays a swamp. Marc plays Wooded Foothills, and then sacks both of his fetch lands, paying 2 life, to grab both Temple Garden and Stomping Ground from his deck into play untapped, paying 4 more life, and casts Goblin Bombardment. While Josh plays 1 more swamp. Marc plays Misty Rainforest and casts Herald of Dramoka. While Josh plays another swamp and casts Necropotence. He pays 1 life to its effect to exile 1 card and passes, which adds the card to his hand. Marc plays an untapped Steam Vents, taking 2 damage, and casts his general, Najeela the Blade Blossom. Then he moves into combat and attacks with his Herald, which triggers his general to make his first 1/1 warrior token that's also tapped and attacking. This deals Josh 3 damage total before Marc passes. Josh pays 1 life to his Necropotence to exile 1 more card with it. Then he plays a basic and casts his general, Horobi Deck's Wail. Then he passes and adds the exiled card to his hand. Marc plays Shivan Reef and casts Perforos, God of the Forge, which makes Josh groan. Then Marc moves into combat and attacks with his warrior token. This also triggers Najeela to make him another warrior token tapped and attacking Josh. This in turn triggers Perforos, who deals Josh 2 damage. Josh declares no blocks and takes 2 more damage before the turn comes to an end. Josh plays a basic and casts Sangromancer. But Marc counters this with a Pact of Negation. Josh pays 2 life to his Necropotence to exile 2 more cards to its effect and passes. Before the end step, Marc sacks a warrior token to his Goblin Bombardment to deal 1 damage to Horobi, which due to Horobi's own effect would cause it to be destroyed. But in response, Josh has a trick of his own and casts the hilarious Touch of Darkness, which he targets all of Marc's remaining creatures, which due to Horobi's effect would die as well from being targeted. Of course, Marc sacks all of his other creatures to the bombardment to deal Josh 3 more damage. Then, Marc sacks his Rainforest, paying 1 life to net a Breeding Pool from his deck into play tapped before the turn comes to an end. During his upkeep, Marc pays 5 mana to the cost of Pact of Negation last turn. Then he plays a Godless Shrine tapped and passes. Josh plays a basic and casts Machias the Unhallowed. Then he pays 3 more life to his Necropotence and exiles 3 more cards to its effect, and passes, adding them to his hand. For Marc's turn, he casts Birds of Paradise, followed by Mirror Entity, which in total triggers Perforos twice and has Josh take 4 damage before Marc passes. Next up, Josh makes a big play and casts the dreaded Massacre Worm, a card that has destroyed me in many games of EDH. With its ETB, Marc's creatures would get -2/-2, but of course, before it comes into play, Marc sacks his creatures to his bombardment to deal Josh 2 more damage. Josh repays the favor by moving into combat and smacking Marc with Machias for 5 damage before passing. For Marc's turn, he casts Rushblade Commander, which deals 2 damage to Josh via Perforos. Then he casts Bear Umbra, which he enchants to his Rushblade and passes. Josh plays Maze of Ith and casts Dread Presence. Then he moves into combat and attacks with both Machias and his Worm for a total of 12 damage before passing. For Marc's turn, he recasts Najeela, which has Perforos shoot Josh for 2 damage. Then he moves into combat and attacks with his Rushblade. This triggers both Najeela and his Umbra, making him a warrior token tapped and attacking, and untapping his lands. This also has Perforos deal 2 more damage to Josh. Marc then uses Najeela's second effect to untap his 2 attacking creatures, who now gain Trample, Lifelink, and Haste, and not to mention another combat phase is on deck. Josh has his 4/4 Dread Presence block the Rushblade, which will destroy the Umbra at the end of damage, but not the creature due to Totem Armor. We move to damage, Josh takes 1 damage, and Marc gains 5. Then the Dread returns via Machias' effect with Undying and a +1/+1 counter, and is now a 5/5. But now we move to Marc's extra combat phase, in which case this time he attacks with all of his creatures. This makes 3 more warriors tapped and attacking, and Josh takes 6 damage immediately via Perforos. And only being able to stop 2 creatures with the Dread blocking as well as his Maze of Ith, well, with the combo of warrior tokens, combat damage, and a looming Goblin Bombardment, this deals Josh lethal damage, and Marc's Way of the Warrior deck moves him on to the semifinals. While Marc's massive synergy for damage towards the end of the game was very powerful, in my opinion, the Goblin Bombardment allowed him to basically shut off Horobi's value the entire game. It even helped him to avoid damage from Massacre Worm. Monoplague decks are well known for struggling against enchantments. There are a few spells that deal with them though. In my opinion, Josh still did fairly well here. His Necropotence helped him dig for answers and keep his hand size nice and full. And because of that, we got to see something cool like a funny Touch of Darkness play. Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoy our content, consider becoming a patron. Give you access to our prize tournaments, bonus giveaway entries, your name as part of our EDHCC club, and so much more. Also, it's the brand new year of 2022. So why not pick yourself up a brand new set of custom sleeves or even a playmat from yourplaymat.com. Use our promo code BT10YP at checkout, or just click the affiliate link in the description below to receive 10% off your order. This gives you cool swag at a cheaper price and helps out the channel at the same time. Thanks everybody, that's it for this week. Thank you so much for watching, by the way. It means a lot to me. Until next time, stay warm, stay safe, especially in this ongoing pandemic, and keep on card gaming. I love you all, and happy belated New Year.